HighLevel just released Voice AI, which, if used properly, is going to lead to a lot of easy sales in your SaaS agency. This video is going to give you a complete rundown on what it is, how to set it up, and how to position it as part of your offer so that you're all set up to sell it all throughout 2025. First, we're going to talk about the prerequisites that are required so that you can enable Voice AI. Then we're going to talk about setting up your bot and actually prompting it so that it says the right things on the phone. Then I'll show you how to attach it to workflows to get better automation. And then at the end, I'm going to show you a demo of what it looks like when you have it running properly. Having said that, let's jump right in. So I'm here inside of HighLevel, and the first prerequisite to AI is you actually have to turn it on if it's not already turned on for you. So what I'm here is I'm on my agency settings, right? Basically log in agency, go into settings, and it's going to be under the company tab here up top. So what we're going to do is I'm going to scroll down here on the right side and you will see AI employee. You can just flip that on and that's going to be AI employee. So there's two ways to go about doing this. So you can either use the main number, but you can also make the timeout super short, or you can have a dedicated, basically a voice AI number as well. Now, the second thing that you need is you actually need a phone number in your agency that is set up and live, but it does not have to be A2P verified. It's actually one of the best things about this whole voice AI thing is you do not have to wait for A2P verification, so you can use it with your clients on day one. Now, kind of the way that this is set up, you're going to create a bot, you're going to create an AI agent, and then you're going to attach it to a phone number. And it's only one agent per phone number. And the way that it works is that it's going to pick up after the human misses the call. So if you want nothing but voice AI working, get a second number and have that pick up nothing but voice AI calls. If your client has a main number that they're currently picking up by hand, you can either tell them to ignore it, or it's only going to work if a human misses the call. So as you can see here, we've got the call timeout here set. How you're going to adjust this if you only want voice AI working. You come in here, hit the three dots, go to your edit configuration, and you're gonna come down here to your incoming and outgoing call timeout. Outgoing is not necessarily important, but incoming, you might wanna make this 1 second, which means that it's gonna ring for 1 second and then the bot's gonna pick up, unless somehow a human picks it up inside that first second. But it's pretty safe that the voice AI is gonna pick it up if you set your timeouts here to 1 second. Again, if you have humans picking it up, 30, 40 seconds is fine. And then as an optional prerequisite, you can actually join my Voice AI Mastermind. There's gonna be a link in the description, and I'll talk about it more as the video progresses. But after you have your phone number set up correctly, it is time to move on to the prompting. So to get into the prompting, you're going to be in your sub account settings here, and you'll see over here on the left where it says Voice AI Agents. We're going to click over there on the left, and you can come up here and you'll notice that I've got a couple of these set up already. What I'm going to do here is you'll see a blue button up here that says Create Agent. You'll click that, and now we're going to set up our agent. This first screen is you're basically giving your agent an identity, so you want to give them a name. And for this one, let's call this one here Bobby. Okay, Bobby's going to be our agent. And then the business name, we're going to use Emma's Flooring. We're going to pretend we're a flooring contractor for this purposes of this video. Now, for the voice, a woman's voice with the name Bobby actually might work. But let's say they just want to be a man's voice. If you drop down here, you can actually listen to a lot of these different names. I think there's 60 or 70 voices you can choose from. Just pick one that kind of sounds okay. Once you pick your voice, it's kind of time to come down here for the direction. HighLevel does have outbound coming soon. It's going to make outbound calls for cold outreach and things like that. Follow-up, appointment reminders, all that stuff is coming. Not at the point that I'm making this video. I'll probably do a follow-up. So you should better subscribe to the channel for that follow-up. Inbound call is by default the only thing that you can do. And then you just have to set up the first message, because a lot of the AI is going to react to what the customer says, but when the phone first picks up, they have nothing to react to. And our initial message here is going to say, Emma's Flooring, this is Bobby, what can I do for you today? And I made a very common mistake that's going to make the agent sound like a robot. And what I did was actually put this comma right here. If you put a comma, it's going to say Emma's Flooring, comma, this is Bobby. It's going to say the comma. So what you want to do, if you ever use a comma, delete the comma so that the bot does not say it. Now it's going to say, Emma's Flooring, this is Bobby, what can I do for you today? That's going to be the first line. We hit next. Now, coming onto this screen, if you want to be super, super basic, HighLevel made it really easy. What do I want to collect? Click the buttons, what you want to collect, and then hit next. But that would make this a pretty pointless YouTube video. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to switch to advanced mode. And this is actually what I use to set up all of my bots. And this is really where the secret sauce, and this is what's going to separate your agency's voice AI agents from somebody who doesn't necessarily use the advanced mode. They're just using the basic mode. This prompt is paramount because this is what's going to be the secret sauce that is driving everything that your AI agent says. And what HighLevel's done is they've given us these nice little headers that we can work through. So what I want to use HighLevel's default and then add some stuff to it. Starting with the background info. Introduction, this is basically saying, giving the bot an identity, and then also telling them what their goal, kind of their guiding North Star is that they want at the end of the call. Now, I'm not sure, you may be able to actually save this as a custom value. I haven't tested it yet, but if you can get custom values in here, this is going to be game changing. But again, I don't know, maybe somebody from HighLevel will pop in the comments and let us know if custom values work. So, dedicated customer support specialist at Emma's Flooring, focusing on assisting clients. Now it says your goal is to gather contact information and if applicable, use the appropriate tool when the caller's inquiry matches the configured tool trigger. Now that sounds like a lot of gibberish, but all that is saying is that when one of the conditions down here, these are the tools, these 4 boxes down here. When the conditions match one of these, go ahead and do it. So you're going to tell it basically what you want, what the goal of the call is. So again, the goal is to basically get to one of these. We'll come over to here in a couple of minutes. Instructions for handling the caller's inquiries. If the caller asks a question, check whether it matches a tool's trigger condition. Don't ask any questions. What this is doing is this is giving guardrails to the AI agent so they don't go off and start making stuff up. And you'll see that they actually tell it not to make stuff up a couple of different times. Next one here, no tools are available, meaning that if whatever that they say does not fit one of these 4 boxes, politely inform them that a team member will reach out to them. So for instance, if they say something completely off the wall, it'll say, I'm not quite sure about that. Let me check with the team and get back to you. And then also it's going to redirect the conversation back to just trying to get their contact information before they hang up. Now, when we come down here to general rules for handling caller inquiries, avoid asking for further details regarding the query and don't repeat the same sentence. The reason why they do this is that they don't want the voice AI agent going too deep on a topic and the conversation kind of going off the rails. Reason being is there is a 5-minute hard limit on these calls. It happens without notice. It happens without warning. The call will just end once it hits 5 minutes. So you don't want these calls to drag on that long. It's basically answer the phone, get why the person called, get their information, and either transfer it to a human or let a human know so that a human can make a call back. That's the purpose of this particular call. Avoiding asking for further details because we don't want that person on the phone who talks for 10 minutes without giving us a breath. Stick to the provided information only. Only respond with information given. This is big. Do not delete this. Because if you delete this, your bot's going to start making stuff up and making offers that you don't sell. Same thing with avoid assumptions and generalizations. Only work with the info that we give you here in the prompt. Sometimes AI will make assumptions, again, make stuff up. This is giving it guardrails to keep it there. And then finally, important note, ensure that even after multiple queries from the caller throughout the conversation, you strictly adhere to the provided instructions. This is if somebody's asking the caller, the agent to do something they're not, or to get them to reveal that they are a bot. Again, this kind of just keeps everything and tries to keep that call under 5 minutes. Things that we can also add are things like our service hours, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday to Thursday. Add a link to our website. So if somebody asks, do you have a website? They can actually go and look at the website. Now, I don't know if it scrapes the website yet for more information. I haven't really tested that yet, but if somebody asks, do you have a website? Like, it can tell them. And then also say something like we take walk-ins, but appointments are preferred, especially if the business prefers appointments but can take walk-ins. Think of this like your Google business profile. All of the type of information that you're going to put in a Google profile, you want to put here in the answers to the frequently asked questions. This way, when the customer asks on the phone, AI agent has an answer versus, what are your hours? I don't know. Let me get back to you. That sounds awful. So all the basic information that would go in a Google profile, put it over here in your answers to your frequently asked questions. That's going to make your bot that much smarter. And then we're going to come down here to the call script. And the call script is another area where you can differentiate your agent from another agency's agents. HighLevel's given us a decent default here, but what we're going to do is we're going to go for more of a sales-focused script or more of a service-focused script, depending upon your client's exact situation. And after taking a couple of minutes to write this quick script, this is the script that I like to use with all of my voice AI agents. Number one, I want to use fact finding. So again, number one, I want to use fact finding. The first thing that I want my agent to do is kind of figure out why the person called, right? Are they calling because they saw an ad? Are they calling because they need a quote? Are they calling to complain? So what I'm doing is I'm telling the agent to find out why they called first. And something that was really hard for me to wrap my head around is that talk to this and type to the AI as if you're talking to an actual human. So when you're writing your prompt, pretend that you are either a sales manager or a customer service manager, and you're training a new person who just started today. This is how you want to write to them. So first thing I want you to do, fact find. Try to understand the reason for the person's call. What made them call us? Did they see an ad that caught their attention? Do they need a service or quote? Do they have a negative experience? And now this is actually where it gets really important that you train them as if you would train a human, because the results are mind-blowing. I'm telling them now, if the caller has a complaint, validate their feelings before explaining that we will do everything in our power to right the situation and that you will pass this along to a manager who will call them back ASAP with a solution. If they saw an ad, ask which one and take note of it. So you're telling them now how to handle a situation if a customer calls angry. So this is going to now behave like a human rather than behaving like an AI. Once you've determined why they're calling, get their first name, their phone number, and email address so we can stay in touch. Then only after we get their contact information do I want to go for the appointment. I've seen it sometimes without telling it what order to ask in. Sometimes I've seen it ask to go for the appointment before it gets the info, and sometimes that turns people off. Sometimes you just want to figure out who's calling, why they called. If they're looking to come in, explain that you can either request a time and then confirm with a store manager, or send them a booking link directly and choose an available time. Then do what they ask you to do. And the reason why I phrase it this way is because voice AI cannot book an appointment directly inside HighLevel just yet. It's supposedly it's on the roadmap coming out soon, but as of right now, if they say, hey, I want to come in Tuesday at 2 and the agent goes, yes, that's okay, it's not going to put an appointment on the calendar. So what we're going to do is we're going to have it take note of the time and then add and update a field for a human to go ahead and put the appointment in the calendar, or send them a booking link and the customer can just select the time and that puts an appointment on the calendar. So voice AI can't quite book yet, but that's kind of how we work around it. And then coming down here, after we get the appointment, we just want to conclude the call. End the call once you've catered to the caller's queries and gathered the requested details by thanking the caller again, assuring them their issues addressed, and then wishing them a pleasant day. With that 5-minute time limit in mind, we want to get them off the phone rather quickly. The AI is basically going to say, hey, did we handle everything like we wanted to? Yes, great, have a great day, we'll call you later. It won't shove them off the phone, but you'll see when we get to the demo how it works, and it kind of works to get somebody off the phone quickly so we don't hit that 5-minute limit. Once we have our script done, we are done with the prompt. Coming down here, we're going to set up these actions here. Now, when it comes to call transfer, if you have a manager on duty here to handle those customer complaint calls, you can have it transfer right to their phone as soon as it hears it. So it's not, I'll call them back. It's, let me get somebody on the phone right away. And this is what prompting that call transfer is going to look like. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to have the action name, which will actually show here on the left side. So transfer to manager. You put the manager's phone number here. In this case, this is my Google Voice number. So I'm going to show you how it works in the demo at the end. And then you're going to tell it when does this take place. And again, type as if you're speaking to a human. So if the caller asks to speak to a manager, and then what to say before transferring the call. So if somebody on the call goes, hey, I want to talk to your manager, the AI agent will go, no problem, let me get Dom on the line to help handle this. Or whatever the manager's name is, or let me get a manager, right, if you have more than one. This is what you're telling it verbatim what you want it to say. Once you hit save, it's going to put it here on the left side. And then what you can do is you can actually add another call transfer if you want. This is really good if you're in, say, a car dealership setting and you have a sales and a service department. You can have this set up as a front desk, and it goes when somebody asks to speak with sales, transfer over to sales. If someone asks to speak with service, transfer over to service. That's where you would use the multiple call transfers. Or again, if you have multiple different departments, right? I want to talk to accounting. I want to talk to finance. I want to talk to marketing, wherever it is. Or if you've got multiple salespeople, I want to speak to Jared, the salesperson, right? Great. I'll get Jared on the line. You could use this as a front desk person and you can transfer to multiple people in an organization. For the purposes of this YouTube video, we're just going to have the one. Now with trigger a workflow, this is really cool. So I would use this in the case of sending a booking link. So in this instance, what I would do is I would already have a workflow created that had a booking link SMS sent out along with an internal notification to the humans in the business that somebody is looking to book an appointment and they just called the voice AI. Because you want to know about it, right? You don't want someone to say, send me a booking link. Okay, great. You don't know about it. And then 3 days pass and that person never clicks the booking link. At least this way, you're letting somebody know who's a human in the business that somebody's on the radar looking for an appointment. And you can make sure they book, or you can reach out and say, hey, I saw that you requested an appointment, but you haven't requested yet. Let's get something on the schedule. So we're going to go into here. I'm going to call it request a booking link. And then for this case, we're going to say demo requested. Again, that's going to send them a booking link. And then when to trigger the workflow. If the caller wants to book an appointment through a link. And you can say something like, great, let me send you a booking link. And that's what's going to happen, right? It'll send a booking link. And then we'll hit save. The other way that you can use this trigger workflow is if somebody agrees to purchase something. So we can add a new workflow trigger, and then we can say complete purchase. And we can say if we have, let's go post sale onboarding. Again, I don't have all these workflows created. I'm doing this kind of on the fly. But when the trigger, the workflow would be yes, when the caller agrees to purchase. And again, this cannot send a direct purchase link. It cannot send an invoice. So what you would want to do is you would want to have a workflow, either sending an invoice or sending a link to an order form so that the person can go and complete it. So this is so the agent would say something like, great, let me send over an invoice, or let me send over an order form, something like that you want them to say verbatim before going down the pipeline and go down the workflow. So go ahead and we'll hit save. Next up, we've got the update contact field. This is mandatory on every single agent that you create. I don't care if you do one or two. This one you better have, because if you don't fill this out and somebody gives their name and number and phone number, there's going to be no record of it besides the call recording, and you're going to have a blank contact record. So we're going to go into here and we want to say caller name, which field, first name, what to update in the field. We're going to go name of the caller. And then what you can do is you can prompt it with examples so it recognizes what a name is. For instance, we can go Bobby, or, Jennifer, or, Mike. Put 5 or 6 different names so that you're telling the agent, hey, this is what a name looks like. So then we're going to hit save. And then what you would want to do is you would want to do the same process. The next thing you would want to do is get their email address, update their email address. Come into here and then go email, what to update in the field, the caller's email address. Again, talk to it just like you're a human, and then give it an example. And then just again, put in a couple of different email addresses so it recognizes what an email address looks like. And then we can hit save. And if there's any other business specific fields that you want to do, you can add them there if you want to collect stuff on the beginning of the call. But again, remember, you only have a 5-minute limit, so you can't collect 10 or 20 fields. Only a couple. You just want to basically get the person's info and then call them back with a real human. And then send SMS. This is another one here. So I prefer the workflow rather than sending a single SMS. So I generally will not use this because for me, I'll have an SMS attached to an internal notification, so I know about it as a human. But what you can do is you can say, for instance, right, send an invoice, message input, here's a payment link to whatever invoice, and then you can put a link in there, and it's basically the same thing. I don't like to use this one too much because I'll generally attach that SMS to a workflow along with a bunch of other things to make sure my reporting is correct and that I know about it. The last two things that we want to do on this screen, and we can trigger a workflow on every single call. For instance, if you just have a simple workflow that's an internal notification that somebody called and voice AI picked up, right? If you have a client who wants to know that it's working, you can have it just text them every single time, hey, voice AI picked up a call. This is what happened. You can have that every single time and then just select your workflow. And then you can also set up an email notification. Every single time a call completes, it'll let them know. With that said, we're going to go ahead and we're going to hit next. Now we're going to set up the availability. And if you remember, one agent per phone number, and you'll see right now that I can't add 2 agents on 2 phone numbers. I can't attach this one to an agent. And I'm going to save this and come back. I am back. And now you'll see I freed up this 267-540 number. Bobby's now on this number. And then if you want, by default, this is going to be 24 hours a day. Does not matter when we call. If the human misses the phone, Bobby's going to pick up. However, we can set working hours for the agent. So if we want it to be on weekends or off of business hours, like for instance, our business is 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., we can have it go from 6:01 p.m. We want it to go here on the afters. For instance, let's say that we want to use this for an off hours and our business is 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. What we want to do is we want to actually set 2 time slots. There's going to be a time slot before the workday and a time slot after the workday. So the first one we're going to do is we're going to start at midnight. We're going to go 12 a.m. to go right to 9 a.m. So 12 to 9, this is going to be the off hours in the morning when they're closed. And then what we can do is we can add a second one. And we're going to start at 6 o'clock when they close and then go to 11:55. But what we're going to do is we're actually make this an AM. So now we've got 12 a.m. to 9 a.m. and then we've got 6 p.m. to 11:55 p.m. So we've got 12 a.m. to 9 a.m., which is our morning block. And then we've got 6 p.m. to 11:55 p.m. after that. So we've got 5 minutes of no coverage, but again, that's better than 0. And if you want to make this for all of the days, you can just hit the copy like HighLevel and you can copy to all of the work days. So now my agent's only going to work here in the overnight. The purposes of this video, I am going to make it a 24-hour bot. And then we're going to hit save. Now on the right is where you can call and test it out for free. But at the time that I am recording this video, HighLevel is running their Season of AI event. And essentially what that means is you're getting to use all of this for free from now until January 1st of 2025. Free unlimited usage. It's normally costing you $97 per sub account per month that this is activated in. Of course, you can mark it up to whatever you want, but you can try this all free, and it's free for all of your clients between now until January 1st. And then to activate it, you're going to go into your agency settings, go right to the top. You're going to see Season of AI right here at the top. And now as you come down the page, you will see referred by an affiliate, enter the code. If you enter dombavaro17, I'll put it right up here on the screen. If you enter that and then hit apply referral code, that'll get you entry into my Voice AI Mastermind, where we meet twice a month discussing how to use this, how to get better at it, and how to get better at selling it. And if you're joining this after the Season of AI, if you still enter the code, I will let you into the Mastermind and you'll get all of the recordings from when this first started. And if you are watching this 6 months after this video is posted, there's probably going to be a free AI course attached to it if you use my affiliate referral code. And while this is probably going to be automated in the future with the delivery and access to the Mastermind, right now, I need you to take a screenshot when you put the code in, send it to dom@dombavaro.com. I'll put that right up here on the screen. Once I get the screenshot, I'll let you into the group and you'll get all the admissions and all the trainings from there. And now let me show you how this thing works. And this is probably the easiest way to sell this voice AI, is if you get somebody either on a Zoom call or you get somebody on a webinar, have people call a number and just have them experience it for themselves. It's pretty mind-blowing when you see how fast and how good this is. So let me stop yapping. We're going to hop on the phone and we're going to call Bobby.
Emma's Interior Design. This is Tanya. What can I do for you today?
Hi, Tanya. I'm wondering if you can give me a quote for my living room I like to redecorate.
I can help with that. To get started, could you let me know when you'd like to come in for a consultation? I'll need to confirm the time with Emma.
Before we actually set up a consultation, do you service the New Hope area?
Yes, we do service the greater Philadelphia area, which includes New Hope. Would you like to go ahead and schedule a consultation?
You know what? Sure. What times do you have available? What are your hours?
We're open from 10 in the morning to 6 in the evening, Monday through Saturday. Do you have a day and time in mind that works for you?
Yeah. How about Thursday at 2 p.m.?
I'll check with Emma to confirm that time. Could I get your contact information so I can reach out once it's confirmed?
Sure. My name is Dominic.
Thanks, Dominic. Could you also provide your phone number or email address?
Sure. It's 267-555-3714.
Got it. That's 267-555-3714. I'll confirm the appointment and get back to you soon. Anything else I can help with?
No. You call me back when if that time works. That's great. Thank you.
You're welcome, Dominic. I'll be in touch soon. Have a great day.
Thanks, you too. So there you have it, a complete rundown on HighLevel's Voice AI feature. I hope this has been valuable, and I hope to see you in the Mastermind. And if you want to see more high-level training, I actually put videos up here in the corners where you can continue, and I will see you in the next video.